So, Paul O'Neill, we're here at a very sunny Snetterton. Dare I say the summer weather has about started? I hope so. Last time we spoke, it was at a very cold Donington Park. You were in the rally doing something a bit different. Again, something a bit different, but people maybe not so used to seeing you to do. What are you up to?
Right, so a good friend of mine and client is Ian Howard. So Ian's racing in the City Car Cup in this little Citroen, I was going to say 106, but it's not, is it what they called? C1?
C1.
How can you forget that? Citroen C1. So, yeah, so we tested Friday. So when I'm coaching people, do a lot with Ian, we'll coach on a Friday, try to get up to speed for the race weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday. Today's Saturday. So, yeah, I put all my cameras in the car, GPS box, and go through all the data. I'll drive and then show Ian what I think is the best way to go about the race weekend. So yeah, that's what we're in the middle of at the minute, and the heat plays havoc because the setup has to change, and yeah, we're just trying to do things. We've got a little data download in a bit, and then we'll go from there and see what changes we make for the next race, which is tomorrow.
Is it a bit difficult to set up cars around here at Snetterton, especially because these days you have very limited practice, don't you, compared to previous years? But it's a bit of a Marmite circuit, Snetterton. It divides driver, and you've got the faster bits at the end of the lap, and then the really slow technical start-stoppy bit in the middle. What's that like for you in this scenario of setting up a car?
Yeah, technically, like Ian will tell you himself, he's had to drive the car quite a lot. I only get to drive it in little bits, but I see enough about what goes on with the car. But in general, a front-wheel drive car around here, you want a car that's nervous enough in the fast stuff that you can hang on to it, but nervous enough in the slow stuff that you can get it to rotate, get out the corner and just be as quick as it can in a straight line. So basically in the fast stuff you're hanging on for dear life. So under the S's at the bridge, through the bommel and Coram, it needs to be lively, because as soon as you get too much rear grip, the car will then what we call push or understeer, so the front axle just gives up. So yeah, there's a lot to go on here, so you've just got to make sure the car is nervous enough for you to hang on to, really.
And it's great for me as a fan seeing the cars being really lively as well, especially at those tricky parts. We both love the likes of the BTCC, the TCR, the Mini Challenge, all sort of top-end championships here in this country. But how important is it to have these grassroots club championships for different drivers as well? How important are those here in the UK?
Massive, to answer your question, and I think it shows how popular it is. This is a very affordable series. The BRSCC do a great job with this championship. There's 34 cars on the grid. There was 38 at the last one, so people can dip in, dip out. The front runners stay around, obviously, because they want to win the championship. It's not expensive to be in it. There's gas fitters here. There's people who fit kitchens. There's Ian, who's got a coach company. There's lots of people who can afford to do it, and that's the great thing. Every walk of life is covered here, which is great. But listen, there's people who are driving these cars who have won Clio Cup races, Mini Challenge races. They've come from this. And this, I was speaking to Tom Ingram yesterday, because he's doing the same kind of thing, but he's racing in endurance in the same kind of car. And he was saying how amazing it is to teach people how to drive these cars, because you cannot make a mistake because you lose time. So we were saying how good it is for these championships to be around and be on a budget tyre that doesn't work brilliantly well, but it teaches you not to make mistakes, and that's the best thing.
Yeah, and it's great entertainment. The racing's been great. It's all been close, big grids, and I think maybe most importantly, it's been clean, because people I think forget. They think, oh wow, exciting crashes, close racing, but every bump, every hit costs the driver and team money, doesn't it? And that's right up to BTCC level.
Exactly, yeah. And I think cost of living crisis at the minute, and also just the cost of everything, especially everything that's gone up in price, affects racing massively. Fuel, energy. Everything is expensive, so people are less willing to hit each other, obviously. But these cars, if they get a dink in the side of doors, 35 quid, it's not going to end your world, So yeah, I mean, it's affordable, as I say, but as you get up higher and higher, it just gets a lot more expensive, and that's why I think the driving standards are very good at the minute in British touring cars, which is what all of the people who race these watch. And it's good to set an example, and we are very well watched, and we should be setting that example. But Mini Challenge is the same as well. I think the driver standards have been great this year in a lot of the championships that I've covered, and it's good to see that, because I'm quite a big believer in, if there ain't a gap, you don't have to go for it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I love great racing, close racing. Don't mind a wing mirror getting bent, but I don't want people getting hurt and doors getting smashed to pieces. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, for sure. I've got to take the opportunity to ask you your opinion on touring car this year. Jake Hill's been pretty brilliant, hasn't he? Best he's ever really driven.
Jake Hill is on another level. I feared for him at Donington Park when he had a shocker. Not Donington Park, sorry. Brands Hatch, he had a shocker. Christ, I was thinking to be sorry, he was all right at Donington. So yeah, I think he's really shown his mettle now. He's learned from his mistakes in the past. The time will tell now. I think the next 3 rounds that Jake competes in, will we see him go for them big outside manoeuvres that cost him dear in the past? Or are we going to see Jake Hill just be a bit more reserved now he's got points in the bag? Sometimes that can work against you if you're trying to just hold on to points and you don't drive how you're used to. It can catch you out, but Jake's big enough and strong enough, and I think he's in a good place mentally and in a family now, so I think he knows that his time is now or never, I think, for him. So I'm looking forward to him, battling all the way to the championship with the likes of Ingram and Sutton, who's not having it all his own way.
Standout driver of the season so far?
Jake Hill, I think, definitely, yeah. And I think closely followed by Mikey Doble. I think he's been brilliant this year, and I think the Power Max team in general have been absolutely stunning. But I think everyone needs to give themselves a pat in the back, because I think Goodyear as well have given a great tyre range and the strategies have been brilliant. I didn't really enjoy the racing last year. I really didn't, and it was difficult to cover when you're like a big fan. But this year's been great. I've been sat down, I've been pinned to every race weekend, so yeah, it's looking good, mate.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Thank you very much, Paul, and enjoy the rest of the season.
Top man, thank you, fella. Good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, mate.